You must be thinking about making a move to Kearney, Missouri. Well, today is your lucky day because I've put together a map video where I'm going to take you around all of Kearney and show you everything that you need to know before making your move and what makes Kearney, Missouri an amazing place to live. Hi, I'm Max Jones. My partner Zach Morton and I run the Mojo Real Estate team, and we have been in business for over 20 years helping people just like you move to Kearney, move to the Kansas City area, and we love it. But don't take my word for it. Hop on the Google, check us out. We've got over 600 Google reviews from clients online, and you can see what they have to say about their experience working with us. So you've tuned in, and if you stick around to the end, I'm going to reveal my number one most favorite thing about Kearney that you won't want to miss. So hang with us to the end. So I'm going to dig right into the details here. I've got Kearney, Missouri pulled up on the Google map, and it's here outlined in red, of course. And it is, I didn't realize until pulling it up on the map that what an odd shape Kearney, Missouri is. One thing to keep in mind is the Kearney School District will go well beyond the Kearney city limits. So in fact, some of these, I believe, outside of Kearney have Kearney addresses, even though they're not actually within the city limits of Kearney. But what we've got pulled up here is the city limits. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out, zoom out just a little bit, and show you Kearney in relation to Kansas City so you can get some context on where Kearney is exactly. And you know what, I'm just going to simplify it and pull up the map view instead of the satellite view so you can see. Here's the Kansas City metro area, this tan shape here, and some of the surrounding areas, St. Joe and Topeka. This is St. Louis is clear over here on the east side. So this is Kansas City. And one thing to keep in mind about Kansas City is you've got the Missouri River coming down through here, and then right in the center of Kansas City, the Missouri River keeps going, but the state line follows the Missouri River until it hits Kansas City, and then it goes straight south. And over on this side, you've got Kansas, and on this side, you've got Missouri. You know, when people say Kansas City, sometimes it gets a little confusing on what side of Kansas City, whether you're in the Northland up here north of the river, whether you're in Kansas City, Kansas, or if you're in Kansas City, Missouri on this side. So anyway, Kearney sits right up here, just on the northeast side of the Kansas City metro area, up by Excelsior Springs and between Excelsior Springs and Smithville Lake. Smithville Lake is a huge lake and on the north side of Kansas City, and Kearney sits right up here just north of Liberty. Liberty is where I live, and Gladstone is where our office is centrally located in the Kansas City area. And Kearney is where a lot of people will go just to get out of town, you know, out of the hustle and bustle, and get some acreage property and kind of get out to the country a little bit, but still have the proximity of being close to all the amenities that a big city offers. So one other thing you'll want to see while we're zoomed out here is where the airport is. And the Kansas City International Airport is right here. So when you're living up in Kearney, you could take 92 highway all the way over to the airport this way, or what a lot of people will do is take the I-35 down to 152, and 152 is kind of a main highway that goes east and west through the Northland, and then I-29 right up to the highway. So not terribly far from the airport, but a decent jaunt if you travel a ton. Kearney probably is a 30-minute drive, every bit of a 30-minute drive to the airport, whether it's on 92 or 152. So as we zoom into Kearney here, what I'd like to do is show you the major roads and intersections so you can kind of circumnavigate Kearney. The main highways are, you've got Interstate I-35 coming through from Liberty, goes straight up through Kearney and heads up to Des Moines. So this is interstate, 2 lanes on each side. It's definitely the main drag through Kearney, and you've got a big exit right here at 92 Highway. And 92 Highway is the one that we showed that goes over to the airport, goes over to through Smithville and over to Platte City. And then you've got 33 Highway, which is also known as Jefferson Street, as it goes right in here into the heart of Kearney and goes up north to Jesse James Park. So those are pretty much the main roads through Kearney that you're going to want to know how to get around. And as far as this is a sister video to a vlog video that I did on Kearney, where you probably want to watch it too if you're thinking about moving to Kearney. I took you around 3 different neighborhoods in Kearney, and I'll show you where those are. So 3 different neighborhoods, 3 different price points, and they were one right here, right as you get off of I-35 and 92. I took you to a neighborhood called Regency Park that's right here, and it was kind of like a mid-200s price range subdivision right here. And then second, I took you down here by Kearney High School into a new construction subdivision called Brookhaven, and it's a new construction subdivision. I think the house was only a couple years old, and it was right in here. And then lastly, I took you down to Holmes Creek, which is down here, and a really awesome subdivision with estate-sized lots, beautiful community, and it was over $2 million home down here. So just to give you a little flavor on what you get bang for your buck wise in Kearney. I didn't go out to any acreage properties just because I didn't want to. It's one thing to walk up the sidewalk of a subdivision with film and video. It's another thing to be walking down somebody's private gravel driveway or private driveway shooting a video. So for my safety, I did not take you to any acreage properties. But really, that's what a lot of people will move to Kearney, is they'll get out on it could be as small as a 2-3 acre lot, or a 10 to 20 or even 40 acres to full-blown farms. So whether it's just you're moving out to get an outbuilding and a little bit of toys and don't want to take care of too much land, then there are a ton of people that do that. Or if you want to farm and have animals and crops and all that sort of thing, that can be done as well in Kearney. So check out the vlog video. Also, Zach and I sat down and did a pros and cons video of Kearney. So if you're thinking about moving to Kearney, definitely watch all 3 of those videos. That'll give you a really, pretty comprehensive viewpoint on what Kearney is and what it has to offer. So next, what I'd like to do is take you into, show you some of the parks and some of the golf courses, and I'll switch to the satellite view. I think it gives you a little better idea as I'm zooming in what we got going on there. So on the north end of Kearney is Jesse James Park, and Jesse James, probably famous outlaw, actually his birthplace was in Kearney, just not too far from this park here. And yeah, so they've got this Jesse James Park, and has a little lake and some playgrounds and a good place to go and throw the ball around and get some recreation going on out there at Jesse James Park. And then there's also, looks like there's a disc golf. I've never played this disc golf course, but I do like disc golf. So pretty nice park on the north side of Kearney. And then on the east side of Kearney, actually not right in Kearney, it's just a little bit out off 92. Where is it? It is Watkins Mill State Park. Oh, here it is, up here. So yeah, I was thinking it was right on 92, but it's just a little north of 92. And this is an amazing state park with tons of trails and a huge lake and playgrounds, campgrounds. Just a great place to go and camp out. And if you're looking to get out in the wilderness, but still have, access to some shelters and showers and that sort of thing, this is a really cool park where they have a giant mill that I believe from an old ferry. They used the boiler from it to to hook up to the mill. It's got some history, and I think they even have it looks like they've got a visitor center museum and historic garden. This is a really cool state park. So some of these houses, in fact, I sold one of these properties up here that backs to Watkins Mill State Park. It backed to the park, and one of the cool things about it was that it only had about 10 acres, but it felt like it had hundreds of acres because it backed right up to the park. So really just a fantastic, huge park up here, just on the north side of 92 Highway. There's also a golf course in Kearney. Let me zoom in. Right on 92, and it is called Merrimack. Yeah, Merrimack Golf Complex, 18-hole golf course here. Nice and wide open, inexpensive golf course to golf, and really nice, well-maintained, easy to get a tee time. Really nice little golf course right in the heart of Kearney. Major attractions, I will say that there are not many major attractions for Kearney. It does have a little airport out here. I think there's another little airport on the south side off of A Highway right over here. But not a ton of major attractions. There are a couple that I'll point out. One that I really like is the Fun Farm Pumpkin Patch. And it's not just a pile of pumpkins down by the river. It is really neat. They've got this whole setup where it's almost like a little town, and you can go out and pick out your pumpkins and gourds, of course, but they've got trailer rides. What do you call that? Where they pull you around on a trailer, a hay ride. And you can rent a fire pit and cook marshmallows, and they've got all types of fun little kind of carnival type things where you can in these little buildings that they've got out here. But it's really like a whole experience when you come out to the pumpkin patch, and they've got 40 different ways to get your money out of your wallet, whether it's in here and you buy an apple butter or but it's fun for the kids. They've got bounce houses, and I think that's what these are, giant bounce pads where the kids can romp around, and they run around and get lost, and usually we post up at a fire pit here in the woods or something and hang out. But it is a lot of fun at the old pumpkin patch. Fun Farm Pumpkin Patch, if you're in Kearney during the fall, is a must do. So I would say that is one of the major attractions. The other major attraction is probably Jesse James' birthplace, which if you take 92 Highway and I thought it was Jesse James Farm Road. Oh yeah, it is. So it looks like you can take this road here, Summer Hills, up to Jesse James Farm Road, and Jesse James' birthplace is out here. So if you're really into history, this is where Jesse James was born and raised, and then started raising his own problems out there. I guess he was a bank robber or something. But yeah, that's where Jesse James was born, and for some reason we celebrate that. And then there is a historical. Speaking of history, there is a historical museum right in the heart of Kearney. I think it's down here somewhere on the north side of 92. But yeah, so not a ton of major attractions. I would say most people that live in Kearney, if they want anything major to do, they'll cruise down to Liberty or into downtown and go to their major attractions. We've got, if you want to go to the amusement park or something to that effect, then down here is off 435 is the Worlds of Fun. So any major attractions, you get down in here in down in the metro area, and that's where you're going to find them. So not a ton of shopping either. There are some restaurants and some grocery shopping, but if you're looking for to go shopping for some clothes or anything to that effect, Kearney is probably not where you're going to be going unless you're going to Orchlands and getting some bibs or coveralls or some hunting some hunting gear, you might be able to get Orscheln's, but for the most part, you're not going to find a ton of shops. There is a really nice price chopper right here, right at the corner of I-35 and 92. This is a fairly new price chopper. There used to just be one little grocery store over here, kind of a mom and pop, and then they put in this huge price chopper, which is definitely nice to give you more options for shopping. As far as restaurants go, there are quite a few. I'll point out a couple that I like. They've got all of your typical drive-thrus, Burger King, McDonald's, Sonic, and that sort of thing. But a couple of the locally owned and places that are unique to Kearney are Stables Grill up here on the corner. It's a really nice little bar and grill. And Fire and Fox Barbecue. Yeah, so Fat Boys Bar and Grill is kind of a locally owned little spot. They've got good reviews. Some little local bakeries and that sort of thing, but not a ton of restaurants. So if you're going out to eat, some people in Kearney, they might hit up some of these local spots, but if you go down the highway just a little ways to Liberty, you've got every restaurant you could ask for in Liberty. And then if you head on into town, down by the plaza and that sort of thing, if you really want to go to a fancy restaurant, then you would probably go into town and get out of Kearney. Nightlife, not a lot of nightlife to speak of. For a small little town, I think if there are, then I haven't been to it. Well, you got Fat Boys, which I already mentioned. It looks like they do have a brewery, Diddy's Katina and Brewery. I have not been there, so I'll have to check that out. Little sushi spot. But not a ton of nightlife. If you go over into, if you still want to keep it small town, and take 92 over into Smithville. If you go over into Smithville, there are quite a few bars in downtown Smithville. It's a little bit bigger town, and that is one of the cool things about being in Kearney, is if you want to live out on acreage. Smithville Lake is enormous, and it's got fingers that come all the way out, clear over almost to Kearney. So, you could hop on a boat launch somewhere over here and be on Smithville Lake, and it is really just a great thing about the Northland side of Kansas City is this access to this lake. It was a Corps of Engineers lake that flooded a bunch of ground, and there are no homes on it or docks or anything like that. It's designed to control the water, I believe, the water flow through Kansas City. So back to Kearney here. A couple other things you definitely want to know about are the schools. So you can see right here, Kearney High School is pretty centrally located to the Kearney area, just down here off of Jefferson Street, not too far, one of the main roads through, kind of right in the middle of all the, you've got a lot of, within here you've got a lot of subdivision type housing, and then as you get out you can see you've got more acreage properties out in not in the city limits. But Kearney High School, the Bulldogs they're called, is a really great school system, school district. About 3,500 kids, I believe, throughout the entire school district, which is still kind of a small town feel. A lot of the high schools in Kansas City, the high schools alone have 3,500 kids, but this is 3,500 throughout the whole district. So right here by Kearney High School, you've got the junior high, one of the elementary schools. I believe there's 4 elementary schools throughout Kearney, but here's the high school. Very good for their football team's really good. All of their sports and academics, really good as far as Kearney goes. Looks like they've even got a little skate park here that is close to the high school. So really nice campus for the high school and junior high. Yeah, I think that's kind of the highlights of Kearney. This isn't really a comprehensive video about everything you need to know about Kearney, but really just a taste test as far as what Kearney has to offer. I think if you listen to the pros and cons video, Zach and I will go over kind of the the downsides of Kearney and the benefits. And if you're looking for a small town feel, though, I love it. I think it's probably one of Kansas City's best small town small town areas where you can get out into the country but still have great school systems and a lot to like about it. So check out that pros and cons video. But since you've stuck around to the end of this video, I want to deliver on what I told you I would reveal, which is my #1 favorite thing about Kearney, Missouri. And I am going to go down. It's not actually in the city limits, but it is down here off 33 Highway. And it is Holmes Creek, which is this big subdivision here, and it is a beautiful subdivision. I think ranging from, I don't think you can get in there much under 600, but ranges all the way up to 2.5 million, which is a house that I had on the vlog video. In fact, I think it was right here on the corner. Just a massive, beautiful home, 10,000 square feet. But it's not just the subdivision that is my favorite thing. It is one specific thing about Holmes Creek, and you can't really even hardly see it. If you check out the vlog video, I reveal it in the vlog video as well, where I'm actually walking around down here. But this here is a covered bridge, and the entrance into the subdivision, you go under this covered bridge, and it is just so picturesque. It goes over this little creek into this beautiful subdivision, and it's just really charming way to go home. So what a lot of people will do is they may have their graduation photos or their family pictures will be taken here just because it's beautiful. So my family and I had some photos taken there one time, and have some fond memories of the covered bridge going into Holmes Creek. So that is my #1 thing that I love about Kearney, Missouri. I definitely recommend you check it out sometime. I thought there were just a few covered bridges in the state of Missouri, but I looked up online before I started this video, and there's over 30. So I guess it's not as unique as I thought, but I don't know that there are any other covered bridges in Kansas City, so or the Kansas City Metro. So this one is really beautiful, and I definitely recommend that you check out that bridge. And that'll do it. That'll do it for the Kearney, Missouri map video. Thank you so much for tuning in and sitting with me for 20-30 minutes. If you have any questions, if you live in Kearney and you think I totally blew it and forgot to mention the most important thing or one of the best things that you like, please put a comment in the video. We'd love to hear from you, whether you already know everything about Kearney or if you know nothing and want more information. Zach and I would love to be a resource for you. You can put a comment in the video below or in the description. We've got our phone number. If you want to set up a Zoom call and do some virtual showings, we can do a FaceTime showing of properties that are for sale. We would love to be a resource for you for everything about Kearney and everything about Kansas City as far as that goes. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, we would love to hear from you, and thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you check out the vlog and the pros and cons video for Kearney, and I will put together some other videos about other areas of Kansas City. So like and subscribe if you're thinking about moving to the Kansas City Metro and just getting started. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll shut up now. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one.